What is up, everybody? Welcome back. It is your boy Roy with 1P, and on today's segment we have Rachel Laporte with Goose Island CrossFit. Her and Noah have been a client of mine for many years now, and we are actually introducing / implementing the 1P pop-up shop. Today's segment is a live-ish Q&A about her questions on what the 1P pop-up is, how it works, what it does, what it can or can't do. So make sure you guys stay till the end.
Rachel, thank you so much for joining us. Can you give us a quick background?
Yeah, my brother started Goose Island CrossFit in Chicago in 2014, and I came on as a member just as a brand new athlete. I had very little CrossFit experience. I actually hated CrossFit when I started it before, so this was kind of my restart. And so then over time, I got my level 1, I got my level 2, I took over social media, and then eventually took on managing the gym in 2018. I taught music, violin, piano, general music for 6 years, and then took over the gym in 19. So it's been a wild ride. I have probably more 1P shirts than any other member. So
Look at that. I love it.
No, they last that long that I have them from 2014. So
no, absolutely. And again, that's what I mean by like, that's when I first started and, was semi knocking on doors, and it's just like the who's who. What was, I guess, before even just meeting us, what was your current process with just apparel and merch?
So thankfully, since I've been in charge, it's always been 1P. So I really haven't had any other issues or situations.
Right.
And so that situation has always been getting the orders from the members, deciding like colorway, and then taking that order and giving them like 10 days or so to figure out what order they want, because people are fickle. And if you don't give them a deadline, they're not going to decide.
Right.
And then coming up with some sort of spreadsheet or some sort of list of, well, you need 18 red shirts and, mediums, and we need this many. And so there were definitely times where like it became difficult, where members didn't put in what they wanted exactly, or they weren't sure about what it looked like, or I had to then reach out to people to be like, what do you actually want? So it just was a process.
Yeah.
So.
No, and again, that's what I mean by like, I could say I've been in the industry for 10 plus years as far as doing CrossFit just in general.
Right.
So back in my days over at Notorious, I was the apparel guy because I also printed all the shirts. So then they left me in charge of not only putting up the sign up sheet, right, but then also semi-promoting it. But then also I also had to take care of and go into Wodify and then charge every pre-order.
Same. I literally did that yesterday for the Open, and I don't want to do it again.
So again, it's crazy because it's like those little things add up, and again, coming through experience doing it, that's why we came out now with the pop-up shop. So that's what we're also here to kind of discuss and showcase to you on how we've been slowly transitioning other gym owners of like, so there is another better way, right? Outside of, oh, thanks for the designs. You're doing all the mock-ups as well. That's what we've been providing. And then now we're taking it a step further and actually providing our clients a free pop-up shop. So that's what I kind of wanted to kind of discuss with you, and obviously answer any questions that you may have with the pop-up shop. So to start off, outside of obviously doing all the mock-ups and revisions, the next step that we take away or provide you is we actually set up a store for you. Here we go. So this is what we would essentially set up. So once we finalize the mock-up, obviously all the different styles, garments, etc., then we set up your pop-up shop. Again, same thing, 7 to 10 days would be the recommendation. And then on top of that, it is your own private link for that specific event, the Open, Murph, etc., whichever one you're trying to do a pre-order on. And then it'll close. So what'll end up happening is it's literally like ordering from Amazon. And so the best part about this is that, one, we're setting this up for you. We give you the link. Once you have the link, then you could just share it on all your platforms, Wodify, Push Press, if you guys are on a community link for Facebook, post it right there. And then we also provide you guys a QR code, so then you can just print it out and then post it, whether it's by where they sign in or when they enter their scores, and then have the coaches just say, hey guys, don't forget, pre-order, scan, just like everyone else would do now, ordering food, etc. Because the QR code is what's trend standard, or what's in. It's standard now, right? The new standard. And so again, this is what they would see. And your members would literally click on it, pick the sizes, and add to cart. And then again, if it's a couple, right? Because again, there's always couples per se. Then it's like, oh yeah, don't forget to order me one. And now they could add multiple items and check out. So then on the back end, we're actually collecting all the payments and doing the processing on our end. And so what makes things a lot easier for the gym owners is that, one, you no longer have to do that. And once we have all the payment, then we'll go ahead and ask, obviously, AU, the gym owner, do you want to add any extras? And then from there, then you would already know how many was pre-ordered, pre-sold. And then from there, you could say, oh, wow, we pre-sold 36 units. You know what? Let's bump it up to 48 total. So then you get the price break. 12, and then you'll get your next price break. And now you have 12 as far as your inventory, right? Which is a lot better than for you to order 50, 72 or 100, you know, because other screen printers might try to sell you on more right off the gate. And now it's a wish and hope versus this strategy, which now zero risk, and you don't have to set it up either, right? So no more Google Sheets, no more chasing down members or, hey, what size and this size. And trust me, coming from my experience too, at the same time, my biggest thing was I would forget to flip over the other side, and or sometimes I can't read their chicken scratch, you know, I realized the writing skills. So like, was that a large or a medium? Oh my gosh, this is, you know, and then you forgetting someone else's, because that always happens as well. So now this part eliminates all of that. And now you're just pushing all your members to go through the portal. So that is just that much easier.
When you're using a specific, because I'm pretty familiar with the garments, and so some, you know, some of the sizes are like extra small. There are extra smalls, and then some of them there aren't. So because we're choosing this specific item, like let's say that racerback, those are the sizes that garment comes with. So it would just auto populate, right, based on which garment we pre-choose for the members. Okay, correct. Because I know, so that's like the biggest question. Even though I'll put it on the forum, I'll be like, this is available in this to this. And they'll be like, well, where do I get a blah? So it's awesome just to have it. Those are the choices.
And it's all right there, little description. And then again, soon enough, I mean, I think part of my goal too is to create part of our YouTube channel for 1P is just in case if someone's new and they're like, what's this style garment? How does it fit? And then hopefully, like, my goal is to create like a little library of like, here's the garments, here's the sizes, like a quick small review, just so that they could be like, oh, okay, I could grab that size, and this is how it fits. It's a little bit.
Will that be on the site? Like on this QR?
Not the actual link of the garment. Maybe there is a way to add that. So that could be. That's actually a great question. So
I mean, most people typically now they know their sizes, and we have enough things in stock, or it could be like, it's this tank top, it's just going to be in a different design, so they would be able to like play with it a little bit. So
But again, for us,
there's always new people.
There's either always new people, and or for us too, like we're always researching new styles and new brands, just so that it's also different, and then trying to provide a little bit of variety along with that. What other questions, I guess, comes to mind with the pop-up shop after I kind of explained just like the gist of it? And again, like
Yeah, I think the sizing would be the biggest question. And then the second question I always get is, will it shrink?
Got it.
And so maybe like having on the garment, like on that page, having some sort of, because like I don't dry basically anything that's screen printed, but that's because I've bought enough screen printing stuff to know that. And so sometimes that's not common knowledge. So maybe just having it on that main page of like, recommend like washing inside out, do not dry, or, you know, dry low. Because most people, they just we're all adults, but we throw everything in together. And then, you know, we talked about this the other day, that like gym clothes you wear all the time. So you're washing it much more often than I would something else.
Absolutely. No, that's definitely a great tips. And this is what I mean by like, I love the insight that I'm getting as well, because this will help me provide more content, not only
Right.
for the members, but also for the gym owners of like, hey guys, like I'm trying to create this streamlined process for you to like help you gain more time when you are doing apparel.
Right.
I don't know if you do or if you don't have any other questions that you could kind of like think of as far as, you know, payment. How does that work? Do you cut me a check?
Well, yeah. And I mean, you could definitely go over that again of the point of like, okay, we order that 36 garments. We decide to bump it up to 48, you know,
right.
How is the affiliate or the business then liable to pay for the difference? If there is a difference, how does that situation work?
Yeah, no. So, I mean, obviously there's no point price that we could say outside of it's just your wholesale pricing, depending on obviously colors and like location. But usually at the end of the day, obviously it's marked up to a certain point. And then that, let's say extra income that was gained, that's where we're able to also let you know of like, hey, it covered majority of it and we're still cutting like a little profit check, and or hey, we use majority of the profit, but the extra garments, you know, that you're ordering will like, here's your remaining balance. But then also too, once you sell all of that, that's just all gym profit.
Sure. All right. I do have a question.
Yeah.
So let's say, we're planning to do a competition in June.
Yes.
And so if we were doing a situation where we're opening that up to basically anybody, and, you know, when they register, they're going to put their shirt size. So then from my perspective, it would still be easier for me to take that group because they're not just from our gym? Or is there an easier way to say like, if you want, you know what I mean? Because like in that case, the shirt would be part of their registration.
Right.
So then would that be a situation where I'm going to go on the website and just click to go through and make that order? Or what would you recommend if it was, you know what I'm saying? Where it's in a different situation.
That's what we're here for. Right. So so a competition, how we've handled it was two different ways that I could think of. One, obviously you guys have your own registration form, whether it's like an eBrite or eBite, right? Because they would still need to purchase a ticket.
Right.
What they ended up doing too was adding a link within that link of like, hey guys, if you want a shirt as well, click this link, hence the pop-up shop store. Right. And then that's where they would place their size, order, and then we would collect all the payment as well. So it's the same thing, so that we would plan it accordingly so that by the time of the competition, like we're both in agreement of like the close date is this, just so that we have time to print and make sure that you guys get it too at the same time.
But is there an option for them to not have to pay?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Right. So that's what I mean by like, I think that's what gym owners did, was they did it two different ways. One would just be like the entry fee. And then the upsell or extra would be like, hey, if you want a t-shirt, click this link below. So then it's more of like an option. So again, that's what we've seen done. And, or again, they would just revert back to, well, we're just going to take care of it and look at it through the Google form and then sort it out that way. Right. Okay, cool. So there's, again, two different options.
Or I feel like that would be a lot easier to have somebody do for me. To say like, okay, let's say we have 45 people that are going to do this competition and I have all these sizes. I can have my intern use that QR code, right? Because it's not like I can end when it's done, I can go and check it versus having me do it, you know, because like it is one of those things where like, I don't want to put this in somebody else's hands because it is such an expensive thing where it's like, well, if it gets messed up, I want it to be my fault, and not somebody else's fault. So
no, absolutely. So that's definitely what we could do. And then we also have the option. So we've had other people also do, whenever we did competitions, they had us also sort it out for them. So then there is a quote unquote sorting fee, just because like we did actually a couple competitions where they had like 250 people compete and it was like teams of 3. So they're like, Roy, thank you, print all the shirts, but can you also make sure the size, right? Because they had t-shirts and tanks. So that when everything was packaged with the team name, so then whoever was in charge of the members coming in, they could be like, oh, team such and such, and then hand it them, here's your packet, and then here's your shirts. And then had all the correct sizes and everything else like that as well. Okay. Well, Rachel, if you don't have any additional questions, again, thank you so much for the time. to
You're
help
welcome.
kind of like walk me through this too, and kind of hopefully walk you through our process as well to help you streamline in your apparel process.
Thank you. Well, thanks for
Awesome.
having me. The Rachel and Roy Show. We love it.
Hey, there we go.
Thank you so much for staying till the end. I hope you gained some knowledge with the questions that Rachel had, as well as the answers that I was able to provide about the 1P pop-up shop. If you guys have any additional questions, feel free to go ahead and comment below, or even hit us up, send us an email. And if you or your gym or business is interested in setting up a pop-up shop, hit us up. We're here to help, guys. All right, stay tuned for the next episode.